Today we're going to install the Luminix front LED emblem on this Ford F-150. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I've already gone ahead and removed the negative battery terminal. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the shroud. I've got a total of 14 push pins that need to come out. Let me show you how each one of those pull out. What I like to do is get the top of it loose. Once that's loose, I can go underneath and pop the pin out, set it to the side. All right, now I got these 4 bolts across the top. Those need to come out using a 10 millimeter. All right, now typically there's a couple of clips over here that you would remove. This truck does not have that, so we're gonna go ahead and move to our wire harness. Go ahead and disconnect that. Just unplug it and pull it out. And then also the fastener that holds the wire harness in place, remove that. All right, now this particular truck has a factory installed fender flare. This definitely makes it a little more tedious, but let me show you how to get past this. What you've got here is a bolt that's holding the fender flare in place here. You're going to remove that with a 7 millimeter. Now, because we have the factory fender flare, there's a couple of clips underneath this panel right here. And there's also a clip here. We're going to have to get this fender flare free of all 3 of those clips in order to get this piece loose. So go ahead and start wiggling that loose. And then you're going to pop it free from the clips. Okay, now I've got the fender flare loose from these 3 clips. I'm going to need to go ahead and pull this loose from the fender panel. So I need to pull out towards me, and that will pop it loose. All right, once we've done that, what I like to do is flip that around and take a cloth, put it in between there just to protect your paint. We're going to repeat this whole process on the opposite side as well. All right, now that I got both sides free, I'm going to go ahead and work one side to the other and pull it all the way out. All right, now we've got a couple of bolts that are holding the grill in place, one on each side. This is going to pull out with an 8 millimeter. Do that on both sides. All right, now the only thing holding this grill in place is the clips. Let's go ahead and pull it straight out. All right, now we've got 5 push pin fasteners that have to come off in order to separate this. The way those come apart, you take your fastener remover tool and you pop up on the top of the button. And once that is up, you can go ahead and pop the fastener out. Do that with all 5. All right, now we need to remove the active shutter system. I've gone ahead and put the grill face down. I've also got something underneath it to keep it from getting marred. We've got a total of 4 nuts that need to come off some studs, 2 on each side. We're gonna pull those off with a 10 millimeter. Now we're going to use an 8 millimeter to loosen up this bolt right here. All right, I went ahead and turned the grill upside down. Now we've got 8 fasteners that need to pop off. Those are just regular Christmas tree fasteners. We're going to use a fastener removal tool and pop those out. A lot of times it's good to put pressure on the opposite side for them to come out nice and easy. All right, now to remove the active shutter system from the grill, we've got these 5 clips going across here. What we're going to do is bear down on the tab here and then pry away to pop the active shutter system off of the grill. All right, now we're going to use a 10mm to remove these 3 nuts to hold on the emblem. Okay, I've gone ahead and installed the studs into the new emblem. I've also gone ahead and made a hole in the factory grill because this is not the camera grill. There aren't any holes to run the wires through. Now, I went ahead and made sure this is oriented properly. Next, we can go ahead and set this in place, run your wires through the hole first. And as you pull that through, line up the studs to the factory holes. Next, we're going to go ahead and install our provided flange nuts. We're going to get those nice and snug, but do not over tighten them. All right, now before on our active valence system, when we loosened up these nuts, this actually attached to a post that goes into the grill where there's a clip installed. On the back side of that post, this is what it looks like. What we're gonna do from the opposite side is take a pair of pliers and hold on to the base of that post while we loosen up that 10mm nut. All right, now we're back at the grill. This is the spot where we pulled out those studs. Now, this is the clip that was holding that stud in place. When we pull the stud out, the clip just drops down in here, so you typically have to flip the grill upside down and shake it a little bit, get these clips to fall back out. Now that we've got the stud freed up, we can go ahead and thread it back into the clip. Once you get it all the way back in there, we're going to slide it back into the grill. Repeat that to all 4 stud locations. All right, now we're going to go ahead and reassemble our active valence system, get it lined back up, run the wires up through the top, and then we're going to go ahead and reassemble everything reverse of the way we took it apart. All right, now we're going to go ahead and slide the grill into place. I like to use these guides to get everything lined up, and then just snap it into all the pins. Okay, so I've gone ahead and removed the 10 amp fuse from the number 18 slot. I've inserted it into the ATA fuse that's at the end of the harness. I've also inserted our new 5 amp fuse into the same ATA fuse. Now I'm just going to insert that back into the number 18 slot. All right, now just reinstall the cover. Lastly, for the ground wire, we'll go ahead and attach that to the bolt that holds the latch. Now we can go ahead and reattach the grill at the bottom with the bolts using an 8mm. Do that on both sides. Now we're going to go ahead and clip this piece back into place, starting with the center. Work it to the side. when our trim pieces pop back in, I went ahead and pulled the clips out of this portion and put them back into the Fender Flare. That way I can just line it up and snap it in place. All right, now we're going to go ahead and reinstall the push pin and the factory bolt. And repeat the same process for the opposite side. All right, now we can go ahead and reattach the fastener up top and plug the harness back in. Next, we'll reattach the 4 bolts up top using the 10mm. And if you do have the 2 push pins that go into these locations, install those now. All right, now we're going to go ahead and reattach the shroud with the factory push pins exactly the same way that came off. Well, that concludes the installation. If you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online.